Moonhawk Studios presents.
All right, well, we have a theme song, so that's great. Welcome, everybody, to Moonhawk Studios Presents, the podcast that's sometimes broadcast in multiple parts. I'm your ever-embattled host, Mac Paladin, and with me in the studio, thank God he's alive, Adam.
Embattled? Like, what are you, getting indicted here soon?
This showing up here every week is a trial.
Well, good to know.
Well, sometimes Category 5 storms show up.
I know, but I'm grateful you're alive and not generally harmed.
Luckily, the next
serious
Category
about that
5.
part. See, these jerks jumped in with the jokes. I was being serious about being concerned about your well-being.
Duly noted.
All right. Of course, we have Elemental Ogre here.
Ambrosia? What are you, some kind of Greek god or something?
Petty Fan is handling the technicals.
I
holding
did
it
a-
together with bare hands.
I did the thing.
The Galax is here.
Hello.
And on intros was Twilight Winter.
Hello.
Now, rumor has it we have a great post-hurricane show for you. Before that actually happens, Adam, why don't you start us off with the news?
Don't be too certain about that post-hurricane. Well, I guess, yeah, post-Irma, but,
Inter-hurricane.
well, there's another one, there's another Cat 5 out there, Maria.
Oh boy.
I don't think it's tracking towards Florida right now. It is scheduled to hit, like, Puerto Rico.
Oh, they're not going to be on the map soon, are they?
No, and it's hitting some other islands that, got hit by Irma.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend in the Dominican Republic got off pretty light from Irma, but this one is aiming closer that way.
Yeah, and there's Jose, which may hit New England.
Oh boy.
Yeah, luckily the part of New England that I'm in is just forecasted to get a couple of days of annoying rain. But yeah. So yeah, the news has been hurricanes. Like, shit.
I trust no severe
Not
damage.
The song by the Spark.
Yeah. I'm like, the biggest thing that basically happened is, well, we lost a week of production. Now, everything.
Which could have been a far worse.
Yes, it could have, but it wasn't. At least not here. Like other places, oh ye gods, yes.
If you lived in South Florida, we probably wouldn't be talking to you right now, would we?
Probably not. Like, I suppose it depends where in South Florida we're talking about here, but still.
Probably living in a thatched hut using bear skins and stone knives.
Excuse me, coconuts? Professor this bitch up.
My bad. and a radio that works forever.
Don't you question the professor. He's the professor.
All right, Gilligan.
Oh, little buddy.
I tend to see Ogre more as the skipper.
Skipper!
I mean, I always thought he was more the millionaire.
Really get a
Hal
Thurston
the third.
Oh, damn, Jinx.
Anyway, steer away from this increasingly odd conversation. It's like, yeah, so everything's pretty much back to normal. I think we're still under a boil water notice. Like, not exactly sure. They lifted some of it, but some of it wasn't lifted, and not exactly sure if it's for our area. 'Cause it's like it's close by, but I'm not sure if it's like this exact spot.
Something. Best be safe than sorry.
Basically,
Yeah, it's
No.
pretty much never a bad idea to boil water before you drink it.
no, it's not. Like so, but that's basically the biggest inconvenience going right now. Considering all other services, been restored and everything's basically back to normal. All the tree debris is gone and whatnot. Like I said, this area didn't get hit that hard, like comparatively speaking. And though, as such, we have been playing a bit of catch up since, well, as I mentioned, we lost a week of shows. Yeah, it could have been worse, but the fact of the matter is, we still lost shows. So, we have a whole bunch of shit to do this week because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, more on that on Wednesday.
Yep.
So shifting forward, Alex, why don't you go?
Fairly quiet here. Like I said, the only hurricane concern that we have in Maine is just a little bit of fairly normal, unpleasant weather. Again, I'm slightly worried about my friend in the Dominican Republic, but in video game news, I've been playing Metroid Samus Returns, and we have a lot of games to review for the show this week, so luckily a lot of them are pretty short. Other than that, it's too early in the week for much interesting to have happened, I think.
Okay. Ogre, what have you got?
Let's see. I don't think much has happened since the since what, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of shifted back to normal as far as I can tell. I don't know what the new normal is, or if anything was normal. But it involves a lot of video games. And being stuck at Hallerknasses for another fucking month.
I'm sorry. I'm bad.
We all have our moments. But, let's see. We're currently playing through the second episode of the Homestar Runner video game, the Strong Bad's Cool Game for Attractive People. But you can play it too.
I was watching you and Naka let's play of that. That was your commentary was on point, sir.
But let's see. We actually just finished that up today. They're not very long. They're not very long episodes, but they're very funny episodes. Let's see. Other than that, I can't really think of a whole lot that's been going on. It's all been kind of wondering if Adam lived through a hurricane and working to get everything back up to normal as close as we can. But, yeah, that's pretty much about it.
All right. Petty fan, what have you been doing?
Not a whole lot. Like, just been kind of playing some games and whatnot, Like, I think I'm done with Sonic Mania, which is kind of sad, but I now have it on PC, so I can do it all over again.
Well, the game has more than one save file.
I know. I beat all 3.
Have you played through it?
I was about to say, and a 4th time Knuckles and Knuckles.
Have you 100%ed the game in Insta-Shield mode?
You don't get anything different for it.
Hey, I didn't say you were looking for things that like had a reason to do. I was just trying to list something that you might do.
Yeah, I probably could. I mean, it'd just literally be playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles again. Other than that, I've been trying to contact some other people I've been looking to have on the show because I kind of fell out of contact with some of them post Irma, and I think one of them might have been in Irma's path. So they've still been posting on Twitter and stuff, so they're fine. It's just I think they might have just lost my email in the confusion because, shit happened.
Stuff.
Yeah. So I'm going to try and send them a new email and see if they're still interested. And aside from that, I'm pretty much good, other than I might be getting a new keyboard tomorrow, depending on if Best Buy has it in stock.
Yay.
Whoop whoop. Yeah, I'm getting a keyboard similar to the one I have, but instead of the loud clicky switches, they're going to be quieter, but it's still going to be mechanical, so yay. I guess
Okay.
next.
Twilight.
Well, we've been having some family-related stuff going on this past week. My cousin from Seattle came in to visit, so been spending some time with him throughout the week, and a lot of it being computer-related stuff.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he's been fiddling around with my mom's computer since she got the new one and seeing if he can help out with it and stuff.
Oh, the old one?
Not the old one. He did get a hold of the old one. I think he's gonna try to see if he can get into the hard drive visit or something. See if he can get some of her old stuff out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing's come of that yet, though. He'll be going back home tomorrow, so to wait and see what happens. Anyway, yeah, while he was working on that new computer, something happened to the internal sound card.
Oh boy.
And, yeah, so lost all sound there. It keeps saying that it's not plugged in,
But it's on the motherboard, right?
apparently it is.
Oh, yeah. You might want to contact somebody about that if it's doing that.
Yeah, we bought them some cheap speakers for in the meantime. Then I'm gonna see about getting in there and seeing what happened at some point. Besides that, to top off the week, some poor creature got the bright idea of crawling up into my car and dying.
Oh.
So they've been having some wonderful trips to work, smelling something dead in your car.
Yeah, and it's probably something small, isn't it?
Yeah, I've checked the motor. It's not there. Somewhere underneath. So figure out what it is. It could be anything from a mouse to a snake.
We had a dead snake at work that had been there so long it had liquefied.
Oh, wow.
That's great. 10 out of 10, Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah, so besides that, I've been playing the games for reviews this Sunday, and I think we'll have one Wednesday as well. And that'll be it for me.
All right. Well, Starship Moonhawk continues relatively unabated. I believe that October 13th is the last day of 3 times a week.
Oh, man.
So,
Hashtag mark it on the calendar?
well, after that, we still have some more pages that were originally drawn by Nico Shie. So, I have about 6 more weeks after that, I think. These are pages that were never, ever colored before. So, Keith will be coloring those in using what little we've got on the Patreon right now. Funny that. The Smut Patreon is going gangbusters, but the legit Patreon is just like, we got a couple of loyal people, and some people come and some people go. So it's been hovering at like $93 for like a year now.
I mean, it's worse than having $0.
I guess, but it doesn't cover the cost of manufacturing comics. So that's why we've been, shall we say, working on a budget.
Oh man.
Yeah, which is why Henderson did those 6 sketch pages to keep the story moving. Had to make a massive realignment because we changed so much. I changed so much early on in the storyline to accommodate stuff I planned to do in the brand new ending. And then when I looked at the scope and scale of all of it, I realized, hey, I paid $3,000 for most of this artwork. I should probably use it. So Here we are. We spent pretty much all of the Patreon money doing what I like to call refurbishing the existing pages. So Keith basically went in there and vainly attempting to match styles with the previous artist and colorist. He went in and modified all of the pages to upgrade the continuity and generally improve them where things went, shall we say, into Mudman territory in terms of character modeling. And it looks a hell of a lot better now. I mean, it looks almost like it was always that way, but there are subtle differences between Keith's coloring style and Marie's, for example. Now, mine is so straightforward that it's much easier to blend with mine, but every artist has their signature. But overall, I think it's coming out very impressive. And I'm kind of curious to see how those last 6 pages will look because, as I said, I never colored them in the first place. So, and that will bring to a close a reboot that has taken almost 10 years to get to.
Jeez.
Yep. Which
Hope
means
you never have to do it again.
The first truly new pages since 2009 will be going up in November. So we'll just keep hoping and praying that the Patreon really takes off. We got another subscriber on the channel.
Yay.
That's good.
The episode 1 of Starship Moonhawk has actually broken 300 views through no small amount of effort, considering my budget is 0. It's like, what's your ad budget look like? I'm still trying to find it. So that's fun. But yeah, overall improvements. I've been looking at the analytics for the channel, and they've been steadily marching towards the direction we need it to be. Unfortunately, we're still under 10,000 views, which means that monetization is still off. You know, because we might be Stormfront or something.
Now, don't give the game away. I mean, wait, what?
Sadly, I suspect they would have more than 10,000 views.
You'd be surprised. But the other thing that's going on is, since it's on the channel, I may as well go ahead and talk about it. Peppermint Saga Blue-Gray Rhapsody Episode 10 is finally a thing.
Oh, man.
Yep. And it is probably one of the shiniest cobbling together jobs I've ever done. We have a cover drawn by Blackwalker 80, colored by me, with fixes and upgrades done by Keith. And then we have 6 pages done by Pritio, the artist that was originally our draw, our enticement for trying to get this episode made. She disappeared into the winds, and it sat for about 18 months. Now, I haven't had any Indiegogo revolt or anything like that, but at some point people do get impatient. I started getting notices from Indiegogo saying that if I didn't update every month, that they were going to start fraud proceedings against me. So pretty much once this episode is signed, sealed, and delivered, there won't I'm going to shut that Patreon. I'm going to shut that Indiegogo down because that's ridiculous. Really? But the nice thing about it is Oshigan came in and finished the artwork for the last 4 pages. He's the guy who's been working on Ship in a Bottle and Peppermint Saga. So he's intimately familiar with the characters and was able to do some pretty amazing sketch pages, which Keith and I then went in and finished. And I can only imagine what this would have looked like if the original intended artist had finished it. But I can only consider it to be, at best, a lateral move from what we got. So I think that the people who contributed to the Indiegogo will be extremely pleased. And I'm going to jam-pack the drive-through comics edition of this with a lot more extras than I promised in the campaign. There's going to be production design sketches, there's going to be commentary, there's going to be some pretty high-resolution finished pages. I never actually promised a cover. So
I think that's one of those things that is often considered to go without saying.
Well, not with BGR episodes. Most of them I manufactured covers after the fact by cobbling together the artwork from the episode.
Fair enough.
There are a few of them that have unique covers. 7, 8, and 9 come readily to mind. But this one's something special because Blackwalker's cover also doubles as an extra pinup if you take all the text off of it. So I think everybody will be quite shocked at the relative quality of what we managed to put together.
Nifty.
Other than that, most of the comics are generally going up in viewership. So that's a good thing. And I'm strongly contemplating putting advertising on some questionable, extraordinarily high traffic websites in order to try and get more readers. So we'll see how that all works out.
Oh boy.
Well, that pretty much wraps up the news. So let's get to the main event here.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to introduce some boss man?
Oh, I'm going to, man. Have you forgotten the format of this show?
We have a format?
Get out.
I can't. We lose
right,
the show.
Silencio. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest for this week, GoldenTot. He is a YouTuber and does lots of Let's Plays, and his commentary is absolutely spot on and hilarious. Tate, welcome to the program.
Hey there.
Thanks for hanging in there with us through that long intro.
It's all good.
Got a lot of territory to cover. My first question for you is, where is the ass and is it safe?
You know, a funny story is today, actually, on stream, I was pugging some O3S, and that guy was my party leader today. He knows about the meme.
Like,
it's good stuff.
Like someone sent him to your channel?
Well, they his friends found the video and showed it to him, linked it to him and stuff. Like when I got in the party, everyone immediately was like, "Ass is safe."
And the brief moment of, "Oh no, what have I done?"
Yeah, it was a trap. Pretty bad.
Oh, I saw it. It was like, yeah.
I was watching through your videos, and I have to say I was quite entertained by that. I see you tend to keep them kind of on the short side, more for hit and run entertainment value.
I mean, I guess it would depend on what you consider short as far as a YouTube video.
Yeah.
I generally try to aim 6 to 8 minutes. If it's any more than that, then that's great. But just my style of video editing tends to be highlights rather than just straight up just Let's Plays with commentary. So I just try to kind of rapid fire the best moments that I can.
Yeah, most of the long stuff kind of resides on your Twitch account, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess... Oh, do you have anything else, Mac?
No, go for it.
I was gonna
Go
say,
for it.
what got you started, like, streaming or on YouTube in general?
Well, let's see, what year is it? So actually, let's see. Let me go to youtube.com, and I can tell you my very first YouTube account was created, I want to say, in 2003, 2004. And my original thing that I got started doing was back when I was 13, 14 years old. I was very much into an MMO called MapleStory. And
Oh,
see, the thing about MapleStory is the cool thing about it is that you can highly customize your character. It was one of the only MMOs back then where you could have a character completely unique to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was really cool. So it opened up a lot of like creative outlets for a lot of people. So, for instance, there was a big community of animators, and I was at the top of that community, and that was more or less my intro to making videos on YouTube, was making MapleStory animations, like whether it be comedy sketches, little fights, so on and so forth, just sprite animations and stuff. And just from then on, I've kind of dabbled a little bit in a little bit of everything. Just kind of I've changed what I've done so many different times. But lately, I've just kind of found myself really happy with Final Fantasy XIV content and just highlight videos of whatever I'm playing with my buddies.
Yeah.
good
Was
Lord,
there like
MapleStory is still a thing.
it is
Sorry?
what?
MapleStory is still a thing.
Less so than it used to be, but I mean, it exists.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like Ultima Online.
It's there. It's it's a thing. You could play it. That's about it, really.
Blast from the past. I'm sorry, Petty Fan, I cut you off there.
So like there wasn't any specific inspiration. It was just, hey, I wanted to make videos.
I mean, well, there were a couple of other people making videos at the time. A couple of notable names being SpriteFan2, Dre86, Maple Combat was a big one. Mapling Times, and I was like, oh, well, this is neat. I could do this, and then I did because it was cool, and I wanted to do it. I was like 14. I was like, I want to make fighting. That's cool. There was always stuff on Newgrounds. Like one of my favorite series was Super Mario Bros. Z back in the day by Alvin Earthworm, and I think a lot of animators back in my time took a lot of inspiration from those kinds of animations, and we all just kind of branched off from there.
Now, did you ever post anything on Newgrounds, or you just specifically been on YouTube?
I've posted a few things on Newgrounds. Yeah, I've actually a couple of my really, really old animations are still there.
So quick, everyone go find Tate's old stuff on Newgrounds and bug him about it.
Yeah, go for it, dude.
He's like, whatever.
I mean, if I didn't want it seen, I'd just take it down.
Yeah, fair enough, fair
There you
enough.
go.
So you've
Well, this is
also
kinda-
Oh.
go ahead.
no, you probably had something more pertinent. Go ahead, Mac.
I was just gonna say. So your current iteration, your current account is sort of your evolution.
It really is, yeah. So that's one of the big things with my account is, so on YouTube, I recently hit 50,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I saw that. Congrats.
But the thing about that is the number is extremely inflated because over the 10 years that I've been doing things, I've swapped what I'm interested in and really alienated my audience over and over. For instance, like I got 20,000 subscribers who subscribe specifically for animation. Then I stopped doing animation. I started doing other stuff, and then they subscribe for that, and then I switch again, and it's just kind of not the best move on my part, but I mean, you got to do what makes you happy. If you're not having fun with something anymore, it's time to move on.
Right.
But I'm trying to pick it back up. It's looking pretty good.
Now, do you actually do all your own animation, or do you have anybody help you with that, or is that all?
I
just...
do all my own.
Oh,
Yeah,
nifty.
I do it all myself.
Do you do anything else with like animation work, or is it just for funsies?
I've been commissioned by a few streamers here and there for alerts and assets. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Spoofy, a Final Fantasy XIV streamer.
I am not personally, but I can go look into that later.
Yeah, I think she's live right now, but she has a little Shark Tank, And you know, a lot of people have their bit bosses and stuff like that. Well, on her channel instead, when you donate bits, they drop into the shark tank. The shark eats it and gets bigger. And I drew and animated all the assets to that.
Oh, nifty.
And then, you know, there've been alerts and pop-ups and just little character art and stuff that I've done for other people. But for the most part, it's mostly for myself or for fun.
Cool, cool. So, how did you get into Final Fantasy XIV? Was it one of the good old friends pressured you into it, ads, you know, whatever?
I played 1.0 a little bit. I was younger and very impressionable and very, very, very irresponsible with my money. And when 1.0 came out, I watched the opening cutscene and said, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life. And then I bought the game, played it for a total of 2 days, and fucking hated it. 1.0 was abysmal.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have enjoyed it more if I had any friends to play with, but it was one of those games. It was a subscription-based game, so it's like, I'm what, 15 or 16 years old? Nah, it's probably later than that, but I'm you know, all my friends were all like living with our parents. None of us have jobs, and I'm just like, I'm the only one who can afford to play a subscription-based game out of my friend group. So it's like, I either play this or I play Mabinogi or MapleStory or some other free-to-play game. So
Yeah, or they were like playing WoW or whatever, like parents would pay for it.
mhm.
Like, I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
back in the day when I was on Xbox Live every year for my birthday, they'd just give me a year subscription.
Nice, yeah. But I played 1.0 and I really didn't like it. And then a few years later, I get an email and some rumors going around about a Realm Reborn and how it's going into beta soon. And it's like, yeah, if you were a 1.0 player, you can just hop into the beta. And I was like, okay, sure, why not? I've got some downtime. So I hopped into the beta and fell in love instantly. It was everything I wanted in an MMO. It was so good. So I immediately went to all my friends and said, guys, you can be a cat boy. And so yeah, we all made our own little harem, and you know, what we do on our own time is none of your business.
Oh, God. So, oh, geez, where to begin? So, like, what actually goes into, like, making one of your, like, short little videos, like, the crafting in a nutshell video?
The skits, yeah.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, it's generally I'm laying in bed. Okay, there's 3 things. I'm either A, laying in bed, 2, taking a shower, or 3, taking a shit. And that is when the ideas come. Or I'm just hanging out with a buddy and I'm like, we need to make a video together. Like, for instance, I'll be hanging out with Denmo and I'll say, like, we haven't done a video together in a while. We need to whip something together. So there's, you know, the Lalafell mind control video or something, and we literally just whip that up. But yeah, more often than not, it's just like I get a random spark of an idea, I jot it down, and I make it before I realize how stupid it is. Because if I wait,
make it before how stupid
exactly,
it
because
is.
if you wait, if you
Or you
think
think
about it for too long, immediately you're like, oh wait, this is a stupid idea. I don't want to do that. You just have to make it right then and there. That way you can get it and upload it before you realize how dumb it is.
Words to live by, kids. That's why I do this podcast live.
Oh boy.
Oh, I know, Mac, you're not happy the secret's out, are you?
You spoiler it every week, man.
So, like, how much time goes into making a skit? Is it like a couple-hour thing, or does it take...
It really
days?
depends. So let's see. For the little ones, you know, Lalafell Powers, Fantasia's Temptation, the crafting one, like, those are all pretty much like, I get the idea and I can literally make it in 2 to 3 hours easy. Like, I just sit down, we record it really quick, I bang it out in whatever video editing program. Super duper simple. Then there's, you know, the ones like I've got Lalafell Territory was a skit where I did a lot of editing. That took a couple of days of just editing. You know, Here Comes Dat Boy is a really, really heavily edited one. It really just depends on the work. If it's just like a little thing that happens for like 10 seconds, it's probably I did it in like 2 hours.
Yeah. So, like, do you have, like, specific, like, actors or whatever, like, from your free company, or is it just, like, grab some random people?
I look who's online and I say, hey, want to help with a video? Yeah. That's about it, man. Because like again, you have to act before you realize the idea is stupid, and not, you know, sometimes the people you want aren't online, so you just grab whoever you can.
Are there any regulars or favorites that you have?
Denmo for sure.
Tenmo is awesome. He's I'm not gonna lie, he's on my list of people to interview.
Yeah, like Denmo, my buddy Sam, are generally people who are always around and always online. So
And I see you've been hanging out with
them.
Drac a bit too.
Yeah, we don't hang out a whole lot in Final Fantasy 14. Like I did just upload that video of us, like we did a dungeon together or something, but that was basically our pregame. We actually outside of Final Fantasy 14, we play a lot of Battlegrounds, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and stuff like that. We just hang out and play other games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like
normally, yeah, go ahead.
I play crashing vehicles and helicopters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like a lot of people think of, you know, people who just upload videos of a specific thing. Oh, they just know life that game constantly, but you play a lot of other games.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like I see PUBG. I think I saw GTA 5 on this list a bit ago. Warframe. You know, you're not playing one specific thing, which is kind of interesting.
As far as videos go, I want to keep it consistent. So it's normally Final Fantasy 14, but every now and again you'll see like PUBG highlights or something, because that's what I play on my off time. You know, I've been playing a lot of Destiny 2 lately as well. So it's mostly Final Fantasy 14 because consistency is key when it comes to uploading and streaming.
Mm-hmm.
But on my own time, I do play a lot of different games.
Fair enough, fair enough. And you've also gotten into Twitch streaming a lot recently.
Yeah, that's actually my main focus over YouTube, I'd say. It is what pays the bills.
So, how did you get into Twitch streaming? Is it just, hey, I want to record myself for even longer than the videos I make?
Well, not even that. So the main thing is I have a buddy, Killplix, who is an old YouTuber who used to make a lot of like Left 4 Dead videos and stuff like that, and he and I got together and we streamed on livestream.com, really old website before Twitch was really a thing, and we hung out and we'd play a lot of like Minecraft and random games like Resident Evil 5 and whatever co-op games we could get our hands on. We'd play a lot of those on livestream.com, and we got a lot of viewers back then. Like I remember our first Minecraft stream we did together, I think we ended up like, this is back when he and I were both in super prime on YouTube. Like I was, you know, an upcoming animator. He was getting hundreds of thousands of views on his Left 4 Dead videos, and we had like 600 viewers on livestream.com accumulatively. And so we played a lot of that, and I really enjoyed live streaming on livestream.com, even if it was like super archaic, because the big thing is I really value chat interaction, interacting with the viewers and talking back to them, you know, asking them questions, them asking me questions, and really just I guess building a bond as a community with them. And you know, somebody told me about Twitch when Twitch started coming out and becoming a thing, and how it was way better than livestream.com, and I was like, yeah, okay, let's do Twitch. And you know, ever since then I streamed a lot of whatever, really. I guess I just streamed whatever I felt like, really inconsistently, and then at some point I was like, I should take this seriously, and I started streaming Warframe every single day for like 3 months straight. Ended up building a huge community. You know, again, consistency is key, is something a lot of content creators and streamers will tell you. And eventually I got partnered, and you know, it's just kind of been from there, really up and down. But since then, I've started streaming Final Fantasy 14 regularly. It's been, I want to say 3 months, 2 or 3 months now since I started streaming Final Fantasy 14 regularly, and it's just been uphill from the beginning. It's been amazing.
Like you just celebrated having what, 430 subscribers?
Yeah, actually today we hit our all-time high at 442.
And that's not even counting how many followers you have.
Yeah, I think we recently hit 20K followers on Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Like lately we've been averaging, you know, 250 to 300 viewers per stream, and it's mind-blowing because, you know, 2.5 months ago, right when I was like, I was aching for a game to play regularly on stream, and I decided, fuck it, we're doing Final Fantasy 14. I was getting 30 to 40 viewers per stream, and it's just been again uphill since then.
And now last stream you had over 300. So congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
So is there? I guess going back to 14 a little bit, is there any specific class you like, or do you like to just shuffle?
Right now, I'm very much a flavor of the month player. In Heaven's Ward, I played Paladin for like 3 years up until Creator, until I didn't have to play Paladin anymore. It was basically like, my group needs Paladin. They're my friends. I tank boy now. But then I was finally able to swap off Paladin and play something different, so I chose Dragoon, and Dragoon was really, really good in Heaven's Ward. And now Stormblood came out, and Ninja's really good. I swapped the Ninja for my group. Because Dragoon was very lackluster.
Yeah, it's still lackluster even after its buffs, but that's a story for another time.
It ain't too bad now, but it's definitely not what I want it to be. So I've really been enjoying Ninja lately, and that's really the only class I've been dipping into.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. Is there anything you'd want to see come to Heaven's Word, and anything you'd want to see, or not Heaven's Word, Final Fantasy 14? Yeah. Want to see added or removed?
Removed is an interesting question. As far as added, there's a huge list that everyone I'm sure wants, which is specific classes, different races, stuff like that. More housing.
Oh, we're getting that in what, a month?
Yeah, no, we're getting Shirogane in about a month or so.
Yeah. Get ready for fucking Housing Savage.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's gonna be a bloodbath.
I've got my gil saved up, man. I'm ready to get my FC a mansion, but we're gonna have to fight tooth and nail for it.
Don't forget to set yourself to busy before you go in there.
Yeah. As far removed though, I'm trying to think about what I'd want removed from the game. Gosh, that's like, I want to give a serious answer because I'm sure there's something I could think of. One thing I really want added is official add-on support, because like, there's no denying it. Everyone who does anything important in the game uses ACT. You have to. Like, it's an absolute must, but there's such a gray area with the terms of service and how people act with it.
Yeah, it's like, technically they can't stop you from running it, but if you start harassing players about their damage, you can get banned.
Exactly, yeah. Where it's like, they just need to have official, like, that needs to be part of the game, I feel like you need to be able to monitor how well you're doing in and out, or not in and out, but in the game. And just have that information at all times. Otherwise, people who don't have immediate access to that information aren't going to get better, and that's why we end up with so many, like, piss poor players when it comes to certain endgame contents.
Well, and like, I run ACT myself, people have been trying to give me bullshit numbers, and I'm like, yeah, right.
Yeah, no, exactly. What I'd want removed from the game, though, is it would probably be something to do with PvP. I do not like the PvP in Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, it's
they've improved it lately. Like, when Stormblood came out, they changed it around a lot, and I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. But I think there's certain PvP game modes, at least, that I just really don't care for. That they need to just, like, remove and focus on others or something.
Isn't it like Frontlines or whatever that, like, no one wants to do?
Yeah, well, there's, like, Shatter now or something is what everyone does, and now Frontlines is, like, Frontlines came out, and now it's just abandoned, right? Like, yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, one day it'll be good, or it'll disappear.
They need to remove Diadem. There you go. What about that?
Oh, yeah.
I entirely forgot about Diadem.
Diadem, it was useful for, what, 2 weeks? And then good luck getting in there?
What's that?
It was supposed to be something where you can get a lot of, like, crafting items and, like, rare items and stuff. But it just became way too grindy and not very worthwhile.
No, it was complete RNG as well.
Yeah. Like, even if you got to fight the, like, big old super boss thing, there was, what, a 2% chance you could get a really strong weapon? And
there's a 2% chance you'll even clear the fight with all the people who act a fool in there.
Yeah, and it's like... And there's also a chance the weapon could be totally worthless for your class, and you can't respec it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's always no fun.
Yeah. So yeah, back when it was new, it was literally the most powerful weapon you could get in the game, like main stat wise, but it could have off stats that were completely worthless for you.
Yep.
So I guess, does anybody else have any questions before I get too deep into this?
Not that much. Sorry, I'm afraid I'm not as familiar with your work as some of these guys are. I only just started watching it when they brought you up as a thing, so I'm.
It's all good.
Fair enough.
I'm still working on that point where everyone knows who I am. I got to get there though.
I mean, you're off to a pretty good start. I mean, 50K viewers is nothing to sniff at.
No, yeah, like even like when I was streaming today, pretty much every party I joined for doing like raids and stuff, like somebody was like, "Hey, I watch your streams," and I was like, "Oh god."
What have I done? Abort!
Because like I have the worst tendency. I shit talk my party like a motherfucker. Like I can't not just rag on people when they fuck up. So like then they're like, "Hey, I'm watching your stream." Immediately I'm like, "Oh no. Oh god, what have I done?"
You've made a mistake, friend.
I love the sass because, like, you know, going back to the ass and save video, like, you were like at the end there, you're like, "Dude, my router just totally failed." No, I'm just fucking with you. I left.
Yeah.
To be fair, I've used that excuse before.
Well, it looked like that was a number of disasters that just kept happening because everybody.
Oh yeah, I think what I typed in party chat before I left was "BRB, my goldfish is drowning," and then I left the party.
To
That's a
be
good one.
fair,
Yeah,
that's not actually, that's actually a thing that can happen, but
Dumbass goldfish.
That's hilarious. I didn't see that because I didn't have I had the video up, but I didn't have it full screen. So
No, yeah, well, I cover party chat, but
yeah. Because
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
spoilers, you can also get your free
protect the
companies.
alleged.
Yeah.
To protect the allegedly innocent.
yeah, exactly.
Protect the indecent. Get it right, Mac.
Well, there you go. So, I noticed you do play other games other than Final Fantasy 14 on there. What's your next favorite game besides 14?
Oh god, right now I'm so addicted to Destiny 2. It's so good.
Yeah, I want to get into that, but
Well, it's coming out on PC next month, and I'm dropping I'm dropping console entirely for it. I'm really excited for it.
I don't even think my computer has the power to run it. Like, I wish I could have gotten in on the
did
beta.
Did you try the beta? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, it was rough. It was very CPU intensive.
Yeah, like I'm stuck with a really old CPU right now. Anybody remember the Phenom 2 line?
I think I might be too young.
It's like circa 2008.
Yeah.
My
that's
computer's
crazy.
old.
Hold on. Let's see. Is that one of the CPUs that has like you can get like a 3-core variant or some shit?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was one of my first CPUs when I built my first computer.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Funny story, this is my first build that I'm using now. But yeah, mine's actually fairly special because it's a 4-core, but it has 2 cores that could be unlocked, and I got lucky, and my 2 cores actually work.
In fairness, the Phenom line was actually current up until last year. They kept it out of mothballs because AMD is weird like that.
Yeah, the FX line is actually underperforms to the Phenom 2 in many aspects.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have an FX8, and it's like play Star Trek Online like bollocks.
Lordy.
So
yeah,
I...
I'm like
Oh, go ahead.
outing my old manness here. So what do you play, Mac? And it's like, well, I used to play City of Heroes, and then I transitioned to Champions Online. Oh, God.
Someone in the chat, PRB cat on fire.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's like BRB. I have to go shave my cat.
So I guess you do a lot of raiding and stuff. What got you into that in 14? Are you the type of person who's in for a challenge, or did like somebody from your free company goad you into it?
So when I first joined the game, it was, first Coil came out, and I was the most geared paladin just because I no-lifed the game. Like I would sit around in Mordona. I had my Zenith +1 in full Darklight gear, a little bit of artifact gear, and people kept coming up to me and seeing my gear and be like, "Hey, do you want to tank for our static?" And I was a bitch. I was super scared of raids back then.
Oh, you were like me. I have, badass gear, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Someone help.
Yeah, exactly. I was super. I just had no idea what I would be getting into, so I just didn't do it because of my fear for it. But when Second Coil came around, I had a buddy who was very, very into raiding, just kind of talking about how fun it is and how much of a challenge. And I was like, yeah, I want to give it a shot. Let's do it. So me and my buddies built a static, and we cleared a few fights, and it was I think raiding is the most fun I definitely have in the game. So I'm really glad I got into it. But I've been raiding since Second Coil, and we've generally cleared all the fights on lockout. So it's been pretty nice. I think we missed T9 by like 1 day to a 1% wipe right before the servers went down. We kicked that monk from our group. We got T13 very early, actually. I think we got T13 down like before the next patch even hit. Like we got it down like in like 2.5 months or something. We did not do Gordius. My entire raid group quit during Gordius, and I just could not be asked.
And to be fair, Gordius was kind of a shit show on content.
Yeah, exactly. Midas we beat right before the patch came out to unlock it.
Wasn't it like hours before?
It was 1 hour before the servers went down. Yeah.
Jesus, man.
I have
you
a video
spent that
of
hour getting wasted, probably.
To unlock it?
No, the server's going down to update.
So then it becomes off lockout. Like you can do it more than once a week, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Where it's suddenly irrelevant. So we did it like right before it became irrelevant, which was awesome. We were all very happy about that. And then Creator Savage we beat fairly late because my group disbanded early on, and I just decided to take a little break, and for like a month and a half.
A11?
And then I came back. No, we beat A11, but we had a lot of shit going on. Just a lot of real life shit and a lot of in-game shit with everybody. We couldn't keep our static really consistent, so we ended up just they looked at me and they were like, "You're the leader," and I was like, "No, we're gone. I'm disbanding," and then I ended up joining my buddy's group later on, and we cleared it super duper quick.
Yeah.
And now we are working on Omega, or no, we're not working on Omega. We cleared it 2 weeks ago. So that's sick. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, like we mentioned at the top, our group is still working on 03.
Yeah.
We've been to 1%. We've
it's
seen
a rough
everything.
Fight, man. 03 is a really rough fight.
Yeah, it's like where you're trying to squeeze as much damage as you can, which doesn't want you to do damage. Oh. And also, I guess, what are your thoughts on Creator compared to Omega Savage now?
I think Omega Savage's difficulty is really well spaced out. The first fights are very easy, and then it ramps up for the third one, and then the fourth fight is just absolutely insane.
I've seen videos. I'm not looking forward to tanking that.
Yeah, it's super crazy. I think it's really nice. I hope the difficulty continues to ramp up as the fights continue on, like, Omega up to 8 and then up to 12 or whatever. Like, I hope it just continues to get hard and crazy and convoluted, because Neo X Death is a very, very, very cool fight. Super cool. But compared to Creator, I think Creator was very. They tried to give the hardcore raiders what they wanted with Gordius, and it ended up alienating a lot of their more casual audience, sadly.
Like, Gordius was just DPS check the fight.
Yeah, and it was basically like gear locked. Like you had to have better gear to even if you were doing the best DPS you could, you had to have better gear to even beat it. So that was very gated content. They made a mistake with Gordius, I think. And then Midas Midas was my favorite tier of creator. I think it was incredible.
I think the only
all the fights in there were
issue
really
I
good.
had with Midas was if one person screwed up, you were all boned. Like, especially in 3 and 4. It was just a shaft fest.
Well, I mean that's kind of like the whole game. Like a term a lot of people use is Final Fantasy XIV's raids are a big game of jump rope, and if one person doesn't jump, it screws up the jump rope for everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, some fights like A11, it's still recoverable if someone screws up for the most part, and I think early on in 04, but once you get to Neo, the kid gloves come off. So
Yeah, it's crazy.
I guess any shout outs you have for anybody since we're starting to wind down here?
You want me to shout people out?
Yeah, you got any shout outs for, people to look out for in game,
Oh yeah, for sure. My buddies Denmo, my buddy Drac,
Drax good
have
people.
been two of the people I've been hanging out with a lot lately. Check out their content. They're both very, very, very talented YouTubers. If you know who I am by any means, you know who Denmo and Drac are. They're the front runners for the kind of content that they make. But
Yeah.
check them out. They both have Patreons and they both have YouTubes and they stream. They're great.
What was that, Mac?
Yeah, I was saying we had Drac and Seabass on the show last season.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Drax
So I
good
was like,
people.
oh,
Yeah, I was talking to Zeppela earlier. You had her on as well.
Yep.
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, she's super cool too.
Oh yeah, she's really nice. Like, really.
Yeah, we're trying to make the rounds. We were on Talk Shoe for the longest time, and then it was just that was a shit show. So
Well, seeing how the service literally died for us and we can't use it anymore.
it's like, if you dial directly into us using your landline, it works perfectly. But if you use Skype, double middle finger to you.
Or if you use
Jesus.
certain smartphones, like mine that uses, like, kind of voice over IP, I can't get anything.
Yeah, anything. It's like, well, unless you're using Metro PCS, you can't get on our service.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, I'm out.
All right, so I guess before we leave, is there anything you have coming up that you want to plug, like any projects or anything like that?
Other than just my YouTube and my Twitch, I guess next Saturday. What will that date be? The 23rd. In like 4 days, I'm gonna be doing a 12-hour stream for Final Fantasy XIV, where we grind yokai. So that's fun, I guess.
Oh boy, have fun
Oh,
with
boy.
that.
I won't.
Stay
Good, no one else
hydrated.
has.
Yeah. I'll
I'm
just
pretty.
have an IV drip.
I'm pretty sure the yokai event was just made to torture us. Anyway, oh yeah, somebody in the chat mentioned that they first found you from watching Drac, and then
Yeah, Drac is awesome. I'm not in any of his videos, but I hang out a lot in his streams, and he's in a couple of mine, so it's fun stuff.
And one thing that a lot of people mention a lot is FF14 has a really great community, and I have to agree because
Yes.
I tried to get into WoW, and literally my first 15 minutes in, when I was asking for help on a quest, I had no idea about. I was told by 3 different people I should go kill myself. I've never once had that happen in 14.
Yeah, if I had the time and gear and stuff to play an MMO, Final Fantasy XIV is actually pretty high on my list. But
No, yeah. Out of all the games I've played, Final Fantasy XIV's community has definitely been the most inviting and the most helpful. Like, even when it comes to just like the Final Fantasy XIV streamers, we're all a community. And like, even if we don't really talk to each other on the regular, we all like do our little thing to support each other. Like, recently the Lalafell March happened.
Oh yeah, I totally
was a big thing.
forgot. Yeah, that was a thing that you participated in.
Mhm.
For those of you who don't know, is that was organized by YouTube user Denmo to raise money for hurricane relief, and you guys raised what, 21,000?
Yeah, like 21,500 or something like that.
Yeah,
That's pretty impressive.
indeed.
Yeah, it was. We were pushing that 20K mark right at the end, and then like one guy dropped the biggest bomb in the world. It was crazy. So much hype.
I wonder if Mr. Happy's still rattling off dollars.
Some say to this day, he's still dollying.
Every time on stream, he's forced to rattle off dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess for a little bit of context, Mr. Happy has kind of a Brooklyn-ish accent.
Well, he's from Jersey.
Well, yeah, I didn't know he was from Jersey.
Mhm.
So yeah, when he says dollar, it sounds like dollar. So they were giving him shit about
Well, that's
that.
because that's what he's saying.
Yeah,
He's got the full Joey Wheeler.
He's specifically saying dollar. He's not saying dollar.
It's a non-rhotic dialect
indeed.
or non-terminal rhotic, whatever.
Nerd. Anyway.
But yeah, I guess one donation incentive was for him to say dollar for every dollar that was earned.
Oh God!
Yeah, he said everyone. Dude. He said everyone. I'm pretty sure he started going insane near the end.
He was looking for ways out, dude. He
had this weird
insane.
ritual where he was like, yeah, I said dollar 20 times, so that took care of this donation, so I could put this one off for later. And it's like, dude, that's not how it works. You still have to say it the same amount of times. Like, it's all one big thing. He's crazy, dude. That day, he snapped.
Fucking skinned a cat or something. We don't know. He went dark for about 4 hours.
Just blacked out saying dollar.
From full disclosure, we don't actually know if he skinned a cat. I'm just being facetious.
Oh, I know. He did, 100%. You could take my word for it.
You guys are friends, so I'll leave you with that.
I
don't know him.
Oh.
That's the only time I've ever talked to him. I know he skinned a cat, though.
Oh my God. I'll have our lawyers review the tapes later.
Yeah.
No problem.
Oh God.
So it's been fun, Tate. Hope to have you on sometime, and good luck with your streams, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming on the show and making it an entertaining time. I was rolling here, man. I was like, I was watching your Overwatch videos and stuff like that. I was like, oh my God.
I've been those feels, man. I've been those feels.
It's like an entire video of them crashing vehicles and helicopters. I need to watch this.
So,
preferably into each other.
Oh yeah.
Except when it's into people, but that would involve us getting into PUBG, and that's for later.
Anyway, all right. Once again, thanks for coming out. Petty, do we have anybody coming up next week?
Currently, no, but again, I'm waiting for people to get back to me because the hurricanes have messed stuff up.
Yeah, you got 8 days to figure it out.
Yeah, well, emails are out. Hopefully I hear something.
All right. Well, whatever happens, next week we return to our regular bat time at our regular bat channel. And maybe we'll have Kevin come on the show and we'll do a little preview of Last News Desk on the Left. Until that time, I am your host, Mac Paladin, saying thanks for listening and stay safe out there, kids.